became increasingly aware of the impact that images in the media had on people in the community through my work at Clemente High School. And at that time, I began to try to re-educate the students in terms of looking at themselves with the same status that they felt that people in the media had. So with this billboard, I really wanted to help people in the community feel that they were of equal importance. When people talk about the Westtown Humboldt Park community, it's usually in reference to the problems that the community has: gangs, dropout rates, ethnics, and they tend to speak in derogatory terms. This piece is really about something that never makes it in the media, which is the positives that are happening in the community. A number of the people in this billboard are people who I had some experience with. For example, Wanda Warbe was a girl who I met in a dropout prevention program who is now going to college. Or the youth in Humboldt Park are there working in a summer program, working to rebuild the park. Or, the baseball teams and how that affects and brings together the families. Puerto Rican pride. Puerto Rican pride is very strong in the Humboldt Park community. This woman was the mother of a gang member. Her son was killed, and yet now she stretches her arms out to take in other mothers' sons. Again, the extended family, the warmth, the strength of families, of family ties, of community.
What we wanted to do in this project is to not only highlight the collaborations that existed between artists already, pre-existing collaborations, but also try and forge some new communication between artists who lived in certain neighborhoods and those community organizations that exist. Had them share the different resources that they had, and hopefully through this project start to develop some stronger bonds and some stronger relationships.
In general, the orientation of all of our activities is towards relating what's going on in contemporary art to what's going on in the rest of the culture. And we track various important cultural trends ranging from new developments in ideas about the family to what's going on in contemporary surveillance to the current exhibition, which is on the 1990 census and how it relates to each of us as individuals. The Hispanic Aids Network is an umbrella organization that joins together maybe around 24 different AIDS service and education organizations throughout the city. And they had come in with a proposal to do a billboard billing their organization, and then there was another group from Columbus School.
It was two graphic designers that had been doing after-school programs at the Columbus Elementary School. The thing about the Hispanic AIDS Network's proposal is it dealt with kind of a negative image about AIDS and how to prevent AIDS. There was blood and there were words scrawled up against a wall, and we really felt that maybe what we could do here is combine more positive images with the mission of the organization.
What's exciting about it is that it gives a voice on the street to individuals and organizations that quite often don't have a voice in these particular kind of forums. Typically it's commercial ads telling you buy this kind of liquor, smoke that kind of cigarette, and it's really significant that this project is oriented towards the neighborhoods. It's not the large-size billboards that you see on the highway. Instead, it's the small-scale ones like this that are on buildings in the neighborhoods and where people and groups can address one another.
I think it was a really good step for Randolph Street and for actually any kind of nonprofit arts organization to try and do this kind of collaboration with social service organizations and people who ordinarily would not be there, the people that would attend the gallery for other functions.
It allows an arts organization to not just be a presenting organization where you can go see something new that allows an organization to be a resource for the rest of the city, and that's the general area that we want to continue to explore.
I still have a dream. Yes. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
Okay, here we are on the Chicago's near northwest side, and I'd like to talk about a billboard that I've created. This one is a two-shot of Martin Luther King Jr., two close-up shots from his famous speech, the 1963 Civil Rights March on Washington. And there's a quote below it. You may be able to make that out from this long shot. It's actually a quote that he, from a speech that he made later on in life, just before he died, actually. And I'll read it off to you right now. Inferior education, poor housing, unemployment, inadequate health care, each is a bitter component of the oppression that has been our heritage. Each will require billions of dollars to correct. Justice so long deferred has accumulated interest, and its cost for society will be substantial and financial as well as human terms. Okay, the reason why I picked this quote for the billboard is I feel that Martin Luther King had some very succinct points to make in this speech, and it's something that he's generally not remembered for. He's generally remembered for his nonviolent stance, and I really think that when we look at, as far as Martin Luther King is concerned today, we should really look at the points that he was making later in his life, that economic issues affect us in many ways. Even if you're not living in the ghetto, even if you're not suffering from unemployment or poor housing, there's still an effect that it has on you and society, and it's going to be, the cost is going to be even greater if you ignore it. And that's the important point that he wanted to make, I believe, in this speech, that we have to address the issues now, or it's going to be even worse in the future. And the issues are going to have to be addressed financially as well as in social and human terms. So that civil rights is not just having the right to vote or an equal right to drink water from a fountain. It also deals with having equal power economically and politically in society. What are you doing out here today, sir?
Walking around. I'm a night watchman at down here at 3058 West Cortland.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Did you taking a walk, relaxing, get some air?
Exercise.
Exercise? What's your name?
Frank Courtney. Yeah, I've been working now for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And I like working at night.
Yeah.
Neighborhood, and I can report it, but they don't do nothing about it. I can call the police, and they don't do nothing.
Hi.
I can report if anybody breaks the building. I can report it. You take them too?
Thank you.
I hope I'm on TV.
Probably might be, yeah.
Channel 19,
I have a dream.
Well, I'd like people to really look at the issue. We have a crisis now in this city and a national crisis on affordable housing. It's becoming more and more extinct every day. We have a serious problem where the cost of housing is well above what people can afford today. There's so many people that are living each week paycheck by paycheck. They're actually like a paycheck away from being homeless. And it's a serious problem, and we want people to realize it's a problem, come together and discuss it and come up with a possible, a serious solution to affordable housing and force this city to take a position against the homelessness that exists in the city, as well as a plan for affordable housing and a way people can live and also work in their communities. As you can see up here, there's townhouses. These are located on Damon and Potomac. They're new. They begin at $350,000 a townhouse. The people in this community that have lived here all their lives can't afford
to move into those townhouses. Those are to attract other people, professional people, people that have worked and got ordinary jobs in this community, can't afford to live there. And it's becoming a serious problem. More and more people are finding themselves not being able to afford to live in the housing in this area. And where do we move when we leave here? It's a serious problem, and we're like a paycheck away from being homeless, and we want people to come together, realize the seriousness of the problem, and decide what we're going to do to force this city to take action so that there can be affordable housing. Legislation has to be passed at the state level to freeze rent so that people, the cost of living does not compare with what it costs to live in this community, and that has to be raised. Yeah, look at these guys probably over here are homeless. They've got like a fire and a garbage can and to keep warm around. And why is it that, it's a day that, what is it, like 20 degrees out today? Well, is there any shelters nearby that you can go to?
They're full up.
They're full up. And it's going to be cold tonight.
And we check everywhere there is.
And have you been able to find rent an apartment that's affordable to you or anything like that?
How can we rent an apartment if if we get a sandwich, we split it between both of us because that's all we afford. And that's us. Miss, can it get us a quarter, a dime? We don't be going grabbing people by.
Man, took my threads on my jacket.
Oh no,
Man,
I don't want that to happen.
Grab me in the summertime, really bad.
It ain't summer. It's still winter.
They got a shelter down there, but that they charge us $5 a night. Barely get wood, all the wood gone. Focus on this here too.
See the purpose.
You put it on TV, show them that.
I would just.
And where do you live, sir?
I stay on Potomac, 2600 on
You
Potomac.
rent an apartment or you own a building?
No, I'm renting a room.
Are you renting a room? How much is it for your room?
$160 a month.
$160 a month for one room? And
they got a place up there.
Is it hard? It's hard to pay your rent every.
Well, all I get is $165. I haven't received that yet. No, I was working at the car wash, Express Car Wash.
And how much were you
How much
making?
you charge us a little room though, man? If you had one spare room, the pants anyway.
Well, I ain't got no one.
But anyways, how much did you make at the car wash per week?
Well, if it don't rain or snow, that's the only days I'm working. I'll make it $4 an hour.
$4 an hour? And is that enough to survive on, like to buy groceries?
When I was working, yes.
It was okay?
But I have seizures, and wouldn't let me work.
Right.
So I had to come on.
Don't feel bad.
Get on aid.
I found this cabin in the alley. Burned up, hole in it. I ain't got nothing.
The food I have, I try to, I bring him stuff out here so he could eat, because he don't have nowhere to stay.
Right, I know that.
I just got through giving him something to eat.
I know the question I was asking is, are you working now?
No.
So now it's going to be difficult to pay for your room.
Barely
can.
Thank you for the tour. You was working the car wash or something. I knew that.
Yeah, he was working at the car wash.
He had seizures though. He fell off 5 times. I took the
I can't work.
Police shot him. He didn't get his money or nothing yet.
And 2 bullets in my head
He's
too.
supposed to get a check for $6,000. He ain't got none. He ain't got no help. He ain't got no phone. He ain't got nobody to help him.
That's my family right there. That's the only one I call my family right there.
The Fair Share organization is an organization that fights for its fair share. We needed an organization where people could participate in making decisions on what's going to happen in their own communities. We're fighting for our fair share at the state level, the city level, for services, quality education, affordable health care, as well as equal opportunity and jobs, etc. And also affordable housing. Those are the issues that we work together and try to find solutions to the problems in our communities. And we ask people who want to get involved to please call the Fair Share organization at 252-4461. Okay, the Community Services Network it's a network that's involved in providing services to the community. Services, we call them survival programs. like the GED classes we have, English as a second language, a legal education and defense program where people not only come there for legal help and advice, but they also get workshops that teach them about their rights so they're able to defend themselves and their communities and help other people in the community.